Welcome back to the next episode of Classroom Horror Stories. This time I asked you all over on my Facebook and Instagram, what is the weirdest or worst parent request that you've ever received? And boy, did you guys deliver. We honestly might have to break this into multiple parts because of how many there were, and it was impossible to narrow it down. So grab some snacks, a blanket, and let's dive in. I work at a daycare, and this person put their baby in a Gucci tracksuit. They said that if an accident happens that I must hand wash the suit immediately because the tracksuit was expensive and they didn't want to waste money since daycare is already expensive. Maybe skip the Gucci suit for your toddler. That's a good idea to save some money. I had a mom of a 3-year-old list on his records a peanut allergy. So my assistant and I were diligent about checking labels and refusing him anything homemade, which parents weren't supposed to send in. But if you're friends with the director, then you can do whatever you want. We got to the point where we would message and or call mom to see if it was okay for him to eat X, Y, and Z. Once we couldn't reach mom, we called dad, who informed us he doesn't have any food allergies. My wife is just crazy. How do you think your child has an allergy, but they don't? Why are you withholding peanut butter from him or peanuts? That is weird. Okay, this one was jarring. I was asked to let their 5-year-old stab me with a knife. He just wants to know what's inside. CPS and the police were called. One parent asked us to make sure his son put a tiny pillow under his male parts each time he had to sit on the tile floor so they wouldn't get cold and make him infertile. Did you hear that one? A parent was upset that I wouldn't carry their 3rd grade child out to their car at dismissal because he refused to walk. Accused me of being insensitive. Ma'am, I'm 4'8". Your child is as big as me. Ain't no way. I had a father bring in a rock that looked like a chunk of concrete. He said it fell from outer space and hit him on the head while he was out running. He wanted his high school son to bring it in for show and tell, is what he said, and wanted me to send it to NASA for analysis. I had a parent ask to co-sign on a loan so that she could get her truck fixed. I still asked myself if that conversation was real. A parent wanted me to reward their child with my own personal money so they could add it to their 5-year-old son's personal Amazon account to choose his own toys because my treasure box just wasn't fun enough. I'm in pre-K. I've been asked to clean the inside of a child's lunchbox so it's clean when the mom packs it the next morning. You know that's your job, right, Mom? I've also been told not to let a child get dirty because they wear expensive clothing. Put your kid in cheaper clothing. That's a no-brainer. We had a grandparent ask us not to have her granddaughter do any work as it upsets her. Ma'am, she's in school. It's literally the law. We had a dad schedule a meeting with the principal to complain that his son hadn't won the weekly drawing of a prize for good behavior. He was told his son hadn't earned any entries in the drawing for good behavior. And it was a drawing. You know, the luck of the draw and all that. Maybe have a meeting with your son to talk about his behavior. One parent wanted my personal cell number so she could text me anytime she wanted. She claimed all the teachers prior to me had given their numbers. I doubt that. One time, a parent told me that my approach to vocabulary instruction was bananas. She tried to insist that I let her son, a sophomore in high school, keep a banana on his desk during vocab quizzes to remind him that she disagreed with my method and that she was there with him in spirit. Needless to say, I did not permit this. Really, these are just leaving me speechless after each one, so all I can do is just continue on. Had a request to call the students home each night to make sure he did his homework, even though I was required to write it in his agenda book, grade 6. I asked what she would be doing while I was doing this. She replied, she would be having a nice dinner with her husband. I replied, me too, and hung up. He was transferred out of my class per her request. Sounds like a win. When teaching 5th, I had one parent tell me the boys were not allowed to wear deodorant because her daughter was bothered by the smell. I said if they don't, that smell will be worse. Another parent said I had to keep the door shut when it rained because her daughter was allergic to the molecules in the raindrops. Again, just flabbered. Oh man, yeah, this is crazy. I had a parent ask for 2 things on my introduction phone call. Number 1, they asked me if I could take him to the store and give him $10 every Friday as a prize for attending class all week. What is with parents wanting more of teachers' money? Like, do they not understand the amount of money these teachers pour into their classrooms and that's not enough? They actually have to shell out money to their children Number 2, they asked me to try my best to ensure my class was all a certain race and had long hair so they matched their student to make him feel more comfortable. That might take the cake. That might do it. I had a student who literally painted the bathroom wall with poop. The mom's excuse was that he swallowed a nickel once, and sometimes when he poops, he looks for it. I had to do a finger inspection to find out which boy had done it. Mom was okay with him helping the janitor clean up his artwork. Well, good. I'm glad mom was okay with that. Not a request, but a parent leaned in and tried to kiss me during a parent-teacher conference. Their partner was sitting right next to them. So I successfully potty trained a girl in my class. She was 3 years old. The mom told me to go back to using diapers because she didn't feel like taking her daughter to the toilet when she needed to go. I was in the office one morning and an older lady walked into the front office and asked if she could borrow a child. I asked her, do you have a child that goes to this school? She said no, she had locked herself out of her house that was in the neighborhood. She said she figured a kindergartner would be small enough to go through and open windows to go through her house and open the front door. I had to tell her that no, in fact, she cannot borrow someone's child. A parent Facebook called me at 1:30 in the morning because she just looked in her child's backpack and saw the child got a bad grade on a paper. How do you not have like the awareness to like look down and realize that it's the middle of the night and that's not an appropriate time to Facebook call your child's teacher? Not even call, Facebook call. I had a student, kindergartner, who had difficulty wiping after he used the bathroom. I mentioned to mom in the first couple of weeks of school that he didn't have an accident, just trouble with cleaning himself. Mom replied, I lied, this one takes the cake. Mom replied, well, did you teach him to move his balls while wiping? A parent told me I could pick up her kid when he missed the bus. I explained I wouldn't be able to do that because I was teaching. Her response was, see, I knew you didn't care about my child. It was 8:05 in the morning and I'm hustling in 18 4-year-olds to unpack their book bags, wash hands, and go to breakfast. I get a message from a parent. Could you take a picture of my daughter with her new hair bow and send it to me? I was so busy this morning that I forgot to. Oh, this is a good one. Mom went to Sam's and brought in a box of ramen, Keebler cookies, chips, and Capri Suns so I could make his lunch every day. They just don't want to do it. They just don't want to parent, these parents. I had a student that had a note from the doctor that stated we should make sure the child leans forward after urinating to make sure they fully drained their bladder. This child is in 5th grade, and I am not going into the bathroom with them to remind them to lean forward. As a daycare worker, we had a parent bring their son who had eaten a Lego the night before. She brought him and told us she had given him a laxative to try and get the Lego out, but asked us to check each diaper to see if we could find it. My employer said we would keep all of his soiled diapers in a bag and she could look through it later. The boy pooped, I shit you not, 9 diapers worth of poop. The mom told us later that they found it. Same vein, a parent told me that her child swallowed a quarter the night before. She requested that I physically pick up and check the child's poop for the quarter. If I found the quarter, she wanted me to clean the quarter and send it home in a bag. Just flush that thing. Next request, could we install a bidet in the bathroom? My child's not good at wiping yet. A bidet. Do you know how big of a disaster that would be? I had a parent of a 1st grader ask me what time lunch was because she needed to come breastfeed him. A dad asked me to go to divorce court and tell him his daughter didn't do her homework while at her mom's house. She did do her homework while at her mom's house. Also, a mom hit my parked car in the parking lot and told me she'd let me know how much I owed her. Public school teacher here. I had a kid in my class and the mom loved me so much that she asked me to quit my job and homeschool her baby. She said she would pay me $400 a month. Wow, just enough for groceries, maybe. Not even. A parent asked me to reward their son every time he didn't steal from our classroom. He came home with a lady's Rolex and a classroom iPad. I assured mom those items were not from the treasure box, and neither myself nor the prep teacher had a Rolex. Not sure where that one came from. Also assured her I would not be rewarding her child for not stealing. Had a parent complain about showing Disney cartoons at the end of class while waiting for pickup, as they don't support Disney's message and don't want their child brainwashed into believing that. We were watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Bluey. Also, the same parent complained about Halloween episodes and activities. Guess where that family went for the end of October that same year and had their kids dress up and participate? Disneyland, and they went to Mickey Not So Scary Halloween Party. Seriously? Seriously? Seriously. I taught 8th grade and a girl became pregnant. The parent wanted to know if we were going to plan a baby shower for her daughter. I once had a parent ask if her son could come to class at 9:45 instead of 7:45 because it fit better into their lifestyle. Okay, last one. This is a good one to end on. I worked at a daycare. I was a teacher in the twos room. I had a little girl whose parents requested if she wasn't in by a certain time that we call them to make sure they didn't forget her in the back seat and go into work. I have so many more of these, so we're gonna have to do different parts. I need to go lay down, I think, and just lay down in a dark room, a dark, quiet room for a minute and just